I have grown my newsletter from 0 to over 9,000 followers in 3.5 months without using paid ads. And I'm currently growing by about 140 subscribers per day. In this video, I will give you 10 tips on how to grow your newsletter quickly. Tip 1 is not to just expect your newsletter to magically grow by itself. Often I see people on forums complaining that their newsletters aren't growing. But the problem is that they're not actually doing anything to actually grow the newsletter. Simply writing good newsletter posts isn't enough to grow a newsletter. To grow a newsletter, you actually have to go out there online and get people to subscribe to your newsletter. So that means either you should be making content on social media and growing using lead magnets, growing using paid ads, or growing by doing cross promotions with other newsletters. Just quickly guys, I made a free Framer landing page template. It features the overlapping customer images, the infinite brand slider, a card for video testimonials, cards for regular testimonials, the crossed out pricing, and more. You can find it in the link in the description. Tip number 2 is to figure out how you're going to grow before you actually start. If you just choose a niche that you find interesting, you might have the problem where it turns out that it's actually quite hard to grow on social media in that niche, in which case it will be hard to grow your newsletter using organic marketing. Or maybe you might find that the niche is hard to get people in using Facebook ads cheaply. So before you actually choose your niche and start the newsletter, it's going to help to look to see if there are actually some successful accounts in that niche on social media, because then you will have some confidence that you can actually grow as well. You might think that it's better to find a niche where there's not that much competition. But the thing is though, because of how social media is today, social media today doesn't care that much about your followers. It cares a lot more about engagement. And so it's actually better to find niches that do have competition, because those are validated niches. And if you can go into that niche and create engaging content, then you will be able to grow quickly in that niche. Whereas if you go into a niche where there isn't any competition, it's probably going to be the case that you're not going to be able to create engaging content in that niche, and it will be hard to grow. Also, you also want to find accounts on multiple social platforms, because then you will be able to see that you're going to be able to grow on multiple social platforms, allowing you to get subscribers for your newsletter from multiple social platforms instead of only having to rely on one platform. Tip number 3 is to leverage Instagram. Most of my newsletter growth has come from Instagram, and right now I'm getting about 140 newsletter subscribers per day from Instagram with about 1 hour of work. When it comes to newsletter growth, right now I think Instagram is the most undervalued social platform. And a specific reason for this is that on Instagram, you're able to directly link people to your lead magnets using automations such as ManyChat. So what you do is you create content, and in that content, you tell people to comment for your lead magnet. When they comment for your lead magnet, ManyChat can automatically send them a DM, which links them to your lead magnet. Whereas you can't do that on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. The trick to grow quickly on Instagram is to find content that has recently gone viral in your niche, and then to create your own variation of that content. By doing that, you're creating your content based on proven content in your niche. However, there are a lot of people also growing well via LinkedIn and Twitter. Most people will tell you that it's easier to grow on LinkedIn right now because they often give you a lot more reach. However, I do know quite a lot of accounts that are doing very well on Twitter via doing giveaway posts on Twitter. Tip number 4 is to get good at creating short form content. Unless you're running ads, your fastest growth is going to come from short form content. The nice thing about the short form platforms right now is that you don't need followers to go viral. You can have no followers and you can go viral if you're able to create content that's engaging enough. And the trick to do that is to look for content that's recently gone viral in your niche, and then to create your own variation of that content. By doing that, you're creating content on proven topics, and so it will have a good chance of getting a lot of views. In addition to that, you also open up additional monetization strategies, such as sponsorships, TikTok creativity program, YouTube AdSense, affiliates, and selling your own products. My Instagram account has 130,000 followers right now, and I get offers from software companies offering $400 to me to create just one reel promoting their software. Tip number 5 is to create relevant lead magnets. If you want to grow organically, you need to be sending your subscribers to your newsletter by using lead magnets, which are useful resources for people in your niche. And in order to get them, they have to enter their email first. To come up with good lead magnet ideas, look at what your competitors are using and consider questions that your audience often asks. Especially if you're running Facebook ads, it's important to test lots of different lead magnets because the lead magnet is going to have a big impact on how cheaply you can get your subscribers from Facebook. So for that reason, you need to be testing lots of different lead magnets, as well as different ads creatives for the Facebook ads. And the tip is to put relevant affiliate links into the lead magnet, and that will give you some additional monetization. Tip number 6 is to look for niche relevant platforms where your audience hangs out the most. Niche platforms can often be under-leveraged. For example, if your niche appeals to women, then Pinterest can often be a very good niche for that. And in which case, creating pins that lead to your newsletter could be a very effective strategy. Reddit subreddits can also be a good place. However, you need to be quite subtle with how you promote your newsletter. However, the subscribers you can get from Reddit often are very engaged subscribers, so the payoff can be very high. Tip number 7 is to have a cross-platform content creation system. Ideally, you should be able to use the same piece of content across multiple platforms with only some minor tweaks. Often you can use the exact same video for YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and for TikTok as well. You can also often use the same written content for LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok carousels. The most important thing here is not to rely on only one platform. Your audience could get taken away from you at any time if you're doing that. So by relying on only one platform, you're putting yourself at significant risk. A great example of this is Dango in the fitness niche. He uses the same piece of content across social media, and then he promotes his newsletter on each of the social media platforms. And as Dango has proven, viral topics on one platform usually are also very good topics for other platforms. So by creating engaging content on one platform, you actually have the opportunity to grow across platforms. Tip number 8 is that Facebook ads are how the biggest newsletters grow. The ideal situation for Facebook ads is if you can break even on the ad spend, or get very close to breaking even, or at least to make your money back as quickly as possible, so then you minimize your risk. To use the Sparkloop referrals and the Beehive boosts, which is where you get paid a commission for recommending other newsletters, and also to have a relevant digital product that you sell, which you show to the subscriber right after they sign up to your newsletter. And then after that, you can show upsells for additional relevant products. And by doing that, sometimes you can actually break even on the Facebook ads. And then from there, it's a case of how much can you scale the Facebook ads while still breaking even. With Facebook ads, it's important to keep testing different creatives. The best ads don't look like ads. They usually look like regular posts on Facebook. And a tip here is to use your winning short form content as a basis for your creative on the Facebook ad. Because your short form content is doing well, it must be very engaging. And so by creating a Facebook ad with that, you should also be able to get good engagement on the Facebook ad. Another tip is that you can actually see what ads your competitors are running on Facebook. You need to look at their transparency section on their Facebook page, and then you can see what ads they're running. If they've been running an ad for more than a few months, it's probably a very good ad. Tip number 9 is to use giveaways and referral rewards. This is where you reward people for recommending your newsletter to other people. You should reward people with digital products that you can deliver automatically, such as additional lead magnets. And you can automate this in Beehive. But remember that you actually need to be getting people into your newsletter in order for this to actually work. So don't worry about this at the start. At the start, you should worry about creating content or doing Facebook ads. Tip number 10 is to do cross promotions with related niche newsletters. This is where you recommend related newsletters to your audience, and then in return, the other newsletters recommend you back. If one of the newsletters has a much smaller audience, then they may need to do more recommendations to make up the difference. Doing this can actually give the best newsletter subscribers because you're getting people who have actually clicked on the links in the newsletters. So you're getting people who actually read the emails and click the links on the emails, which are the best people to get. I don't recommend that you worry about this until you have at least 1,000 newsletter subscribers. Up until then, I recommend that you worry about creating content on Instagram, for example, or doing Facebook ads. To find niche relevant newsletters, you can do site:"passionfruit.me" plus your niche, and then that will show you sites on passion fruit that are on your niche. And then you can do the same thing for Beehive, and that will show you relevant newsletters using Beehive in your niche. And you can also use the website lettergrowth.com, which is a database of newsletters in your niche that you can reach out to and ask if they want to do cross promotions with you.